All right, so today we're going to talk about last weekend about food and wine, because I don't think we're actually going this weekend, but you just never know. And to talk a little bit about like what it costs us, because I think that there's a kind of a myth out there that automatically, if it's Disney and then there's Food and Wine Festival by association, it's just crazy expensive and ridiculous. And we say with all things Disney, it's as expensive as you make it. So there's a difference between grabbing a Mickey bar and then going to Victoria and Albert's. But it's not like there's only one or the other thing to do. It's you make the vacation or the trip that you want to make out of. Now, one thing I do want to say, before we get going, I do want to thank everybody who made our food and wine videos, our most watched videos that had nothing to do with DSB. Now, this is not the bag on DSB, we love DSB and we can't wait to see them again. It's nice to see the hit count go up on other stuff, and so maybe, again, we're on the coattails of food and wine in this case, but so what? Thanks everybody for the views. Okay, so with day one.
Well, maybe we should explain what we did.
Yeah.
We heard about if you were an annual pass holder and you went 3 times to Food and Wine, it would count on your Magic Band, and on the 3rd day you could go to Interventions and pick up your pass holder tumbler, and it's 1 per person this year, so we have 2 tumblers. So joking around, we did our usual, well, maybe we'll go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're done. Well, yeah, we went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
But yeah, because of the rain and then the power outage thing, well, not power outage, but they turned the power off to things as a safety move.
There was lightning in the parks, so they pulled everybody off the outdoor cash registers. It was okay to be walking around. It was not safe to stand at a cash register. Okay.
And so when I was tallying up, because I kept all the receipts for the weekend, and going into this, first of all, I was stressing out about money. I was like, oh man, this is going to be at least $50 a day, probably per person. And by day, I mean just being in the park, like for any length of time, whether it was all day or just part of the day. In this case, we were only there, I want to say, 4 hours? Something like
3
that.
to 4 hours Friday, 4 to 5 hours Saturday, 4 to 5 hours Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like we camped out all day, all night, because we can't because of the dogs.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is that what we did was we split food.
We didn't do that to be cheap. We did that so that we could each taste more things. And at least that's why I was doing it. I don't know what you were doing.
Well, my one and only time of ever doing food and wine, I only made it from Canada to the USA, and then I was bombed out. And a lot of times we were just buying like individual servings, like 1 for each of us.
Yeah.
Whereas if we would have tapasted and cut it up, we probably would have made it further, but that's hard to say. We were coming right off a cruise when we did that, I believe. We weren't coming off the cruise, we were going into the cruise. Okay. So maybe there was half a chance it could have happened. Post-cruise, forget it. I was bricked up. All right, so day one, which was that Friday night, in spite of everything, the most we spent at any one time was actually at France. It was $10.50. And that was because we had the bouffe bourguignon and we had the creme brulee. And so that was $10.50, but that was split between us, not each. That's what it would have been each, though. So this is how these things do reach the 50s and 60s dollars if you all insist on your own individual serving of everything you have.
Split it, you can try more things.
So we hit the chocolate stand. This is not like an order. This is just what I wrote down based on the receipts that was top of the pile. The chocolate stand, Japan, that Chew collective thing, France, and Germany. Germany was the second most we spent, because I think they only had did they only have like 2 menu items?
They have 3. They have strudel.
Oh, that was right, the strudel.
It was strudel, bratwurst, and Speckennoodle.
Right.
Spritzennoodle.
Farfignugan.
Spritzennoodle.
That was the second most we spent at any one place, and that was $8.75. All right, so the grand total for the day was $35. It was between us, so then that would make it, if we round up to 36.
Now, you'll notice a distinct lack of wine in our food and wine lists.
Or beer, or liquor.
Well, beer we don't do because we're gluten-free. Wine, he doesn't do because he's a snob, and I don't do because it makes me hot. I can't drink when it's hot out. I just can't do it. I get too hot inside, and I'm gonna combust, and then I'll get nasty, and we don't want that.
Well, I could have, I saw some wines that interested me, I would have had them, but that would have also drove the cost way up. And I really wanted to concentrate on the food this time around. I also wanted to concentrate on getting glass, really.
And then we came home and drank alcohol we'd already paid for.
That's right. So basically, just rounding up to 36, it makes it 18 each. My math right?
All right, so $17.50. You don't have to round anything.
Okay, so $17.50 each.
One of us can do math.
Yeah. So for 4 or 5 hours of eating, I mean, again, tapas bar wise, that's, again, there was no alcohol involved, but that's not bad food wise.
And we were quite full.
Oh yeah.
We were very full. In fact, on day 2, I came up with the idea that Disney should put lounge chairs in between each country. They could even charge, but you need that hour nap.
All right, now day 2, we actually didn't hit it as hard as I thought we would because of the fact that we pretty much hit Ireland for everything it had, literally, food-wise.
We did rope drop. This is important because if World Showcase opens at 11, Park opens at 10, but World Showcase at 11.
9.
I'm sorry, 11, 9. What did I say?
10.
I'm tired. It took that long to park. So we had a fast pass for first thing in the morning and then went over and we were sitting in front of the Canadian booth at about 10:30. And surprise, surprise, they opened. Turns out, and I don't know about the Mexican side because we didn't go that way, we went the Canada way. Canada, Ireland, Scotland, and France all opened at 10:30-ish on Saturday. And then there's a rope drop right at the end of France before you hit Morocco, which is where the Brazil stand is, that did not drop until 11 o'clock. So you can do part of it. Now, I don't know what the other side looked like because I know the rope is usually between Norway and China. You can't go past that on a normal day. I don't know what it looked like on that side. Maybe we should do that one of these days. Go that way.
We keep saying we're gonna, and then we don't.
Yeah. All right, so yes. We hit Canada first.
Right.
Which was nice because it was closed the night before. We didn't get to do it. Otherwise, we would have done it Friday. So
Right.
what do we do in Canada?
We did the beef and the soup. I think I believe they only do have 2 things on the menu in Canada, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And so it was funny as the receipt said beef.
No. They have a third one. I don't know what it is.
It's so memorable I can't remember. All right, so with that, in Canada, that was the second most money we spent in a single round.
I feel like it has to do with tomatoes.
It was $12.50 because we had the beef and the cheese soup.
Yes.
Now again, we split it. It wasn't like we had one each. But again, if you're doing it by yourself, like if you're in a group of people and everybody all wants their own thing, then just remember Canada, just for those 2 things, is going to hit you for $12.50.
And the little piece of beef, when you cut it in half and then cut it up, I mean, I got like 4 bites out of it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it's not like this big or whatever. You know, it's if you had your own beef and then soup, you're well on your way. I mean, you know, as far as like what you'd be spending for an actual meal in Disney, you're doing pretty good right there. Ireland, we hit them for everything they had.
Yeah, Ireland's my favorite booth. It has been for years. The fisherman's pie, I mean, I got at least 2 scallops and 2 shrimp on my side of that little tiny container.
And then we had the cheese plate.
We did
so
the
I
cheese
broke
plate.
the cheeses up into 2 pieces. And then,
That was very good. And then we each got a lava cake, and
Right.
sometimes Mama don't share.
yeah, that's definitely one of those that, here's your pro tip, if you're going to do Ireland, just get your own lava cake and know you're not splitting.
And then nobody will get divorced, and the world will be a happier place.
So Ireland, so 2 things were shared, 1 was not shared, so that was $18.25. So that was the most we spent in a single round.
It was delicious.
But again, so worth it. And again, as far as we're concerned, Ireland could just be its own stop. Like that, we could have just gone just to Ireland, eat that, and we would have been done. But we tapas, so no. All right, so after road drop, we hit Brazil. This was funny. It was the cheese bread. It was $3.75, and you get one each, so that's real.
Yeah, you get 2 cheese breads about this big, and they're gluten-free. So that was fabulous, because it's not often I get bread that's delicious.
Mhm.
So those were very good.
So we ended up kind of crashing on a bench to people watch for nearly an hour. And we summoned the will to go over to Poland.
Well, before, we're sitting on a bench, and literally 20 feet from the rope drop, and I looked at Ethan and went, we've been in here, we've been sitting on this bench for an hour, and rope drop is 20 feet away. It took us an hour to get 20 feet.
Yeah, and Poland was one of those that I knew it existed as far as being not just a country, but I mean a country represented at Food and Wine.
It's been the whole time, I think since 1996.
And it's just because the only time I'd ever been there before, we were only there one day, and we only made it halfway around, and didn't even countenance that other stuff. So I did want to see what the Poland offering was, and so they had kielbasa, so I got that, and we split that, and it was the final thing we ate. So we only did 4 kiosks on day 2.
Yeah.
But we really tanked up hard. So the bottom line was we did actually spend a little more on day 2 because of the hitting Ireland for everything it had.
Yeah.
And so it's $40, so that split evenly $20 a piece.
And it was basically, I think we left about somewhere between 2 and 3. I think it was 6 or 7 before we were like, do you want dinner? And I think we just split a frozen pizza or something. I mean, it wasn't like we ate a big meal.
All right, so day 3 is when we went with friends of ours. Or not went with them, but we met them there, let's put it that way. And so we weren't sure, like, huh?
I don't think that distinction matters, but okay.
Well, I just,
You say it your own way.
factual reasons.
Potato.
Yeah. Which is what they ate. They ate potato, and we had.
No, he had a cabbage roll.
Yeah. We had, let's see, we had 7 kiosks.
We did?
Yeah, on that last day. All right, so the most we spent anywhere on day 3 was Canada. And specifically pertinent to Food and Wine, because that funnel cake was technically the biggest food expense at $8.50. Because I got the pumpkin spice one, which people were wondering, so how's the pumpkin spice?
It was spicy.
Pumpkin and spicy.
It was good.
Mostly spice.
It was good.
I didn't really bowl me over pumpkin.
I can't believe you ate that whole thing.
Yeah, me too. I can't
God.
believe it. All right, so Food and Wine wise, though, Canada was the winner at $7.75 for the beef again.
Yeah, we got the beef. We
Yeah.
split the beef again. It was very good.
But there was a lot of $3.50, $3.75, $3.75. And so, and again, splitting it, so this really kept the cost down, which means Food and Wine specific, it was $33.50 on the day. And that was like, for us, a day. I mean, we were there at
7
rope
places,
drop.
that's good.
Yeah, at rope drop, and then leaving something around 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Yep.
So our 3-day total was $108.50, which averaged out to about $36 a day between the 2 of us. So then that averages out to $18 a day.
That was a really expensive glass.
But when you think about it this way, though, of all the glasses that you could possibly own, this is one of them. One thing that we didn't talk about is that what we do when we go to Disney is we bring our bottle of water and we fill it with Crystal Light all the time.
Yeah, I've got a water bottle that we just keep refilling.
Right. And that's another way we keep our drink expense down. It's
Yeah.
not that we don't ever just like throw our hands in the air and get a Coke or something like that
Yeah.
while we're there, but it really, comparatively speaking, we're not constantly buying a drink as we go. We're filling just with the water fountains and just putting the Crystal Light in there.
Yeah, that gets rid of any Florida water taste, the Crystal Light to go. And it's a lot cheaper.
All right, so we need some kind of closing.
Goodbye.
That's deep.
Leave the table. Ooh. Oh, not good, not good, not good, not good. Okay. Hi. Right,
That's
sit.
rolling.
I know it is, but she's gonna bump the table and your camera's gonna go flying. Because she bumps things. Don't you, girl? Go get some water. Okay, hi.
I wasn't thinking.
I know.
I was told there'd be no math.
You were the one who said I'm gonna sit down and do some math. Who told you there was no math?
Life. Barbie lied. The way she said math was hard. Never mind. How about this?
No!